All right, yesterday we talked about multiplying and dividing integers. Today we're going to see some real life examples of where we would actually use negative and positive numbers and multiplying and dividing. In the first example, we're going to look at a couple expressions that are down here. If you notice, most of the numbers are the same, and over here are going to be the words that go along with it. We're going to start on the word side and match them backwards. A football team loses a total of 12 yards in 4 plays. On average, how many yards did the team move per play? So I'm seeing losing, so that's telling me that we're talking about a negative number here. I'm actually going to use some color. So they lost 12 yards in 4 plays, and they want to know on average how many yards did they actually lose. So if we're taking an average, we're going to be dividing. So this one's going to be negative 12 divided by 4, which is going to take us to this bottom one. The temperature of the ocean water dropped 4 degrees every hour. After 12 hours, what was the change in the water temperature? A drop is telling me we're negative. It did that minus 4 for 12 hours. That's a multiplication problem, so we're right here. A garden consists of 12 rose bushes in each of 4 rows. How many rose bushes does the garden have altogether? 12 bushes, 4 rows of them. We're multiplying, so 12 times 4. Every second, a snail crawls 12 millimeters down a hole. Keyword down, we're talking negative. How many millimeters will the snail have crawled after 4 seconds? So he's going down 12 4 times. So multiplication here, it's going to be our first one. The last one we hope matches up with negative 3 times negative 4. It says during a drought, a pond's fish population decreased by 3. So hold on, decrease is a negative by 3 for every meter drop in the pond's water level. At that rate, how many fish died once the water level dropped 4 meters? So it went down 4 meters, which meant that our fish decreased by 3 that many times. Negative 3 times negative 4. Next one, a movie rental company deducts, so we're talking a negative amount, from Serena's account every month for a year. After 1 year, how much do movie rental fees charge Serena's account? So we're going minus $7 for a year every month, and we want to know 1 year. 1 year is 12 months. So we're doing negative 7 times 12. That's going to give us negative $84 from her account. Down here, we're going to actually match up expressions to do they result in a negative number or a positive number. So we're going to actually do them. 8 divided by 2 is 4. There's a negative sign out front, so that's going to result in a negative number. Negative 5 times a negative 4, negative times a negative will give us a positive. So negative 5 times negative 4. 6 divided by negative 3, positive, negative, signs are different. That tells us we get a negative number. Negative 10 divided by negative 10, the signs are the same. We get a positive number. Negative 25 times negative 4, signs are the same, so we get a positive number. And the last example, negative 21 divided by 7, signs are different, so we would end up with a negative number here. On the next page, Mark rides his bike 350 meters down to the bottom of a hill. He did the ride in 5 equal stages. How much did his elevation change during each stage? He went down 350 meters and did that in 5 stages. So a negative divided by a positive, we're going to get a negative, and we're going to get negative 70 meters per stage. He was playing a game. He spins each spinner and then multiplies the numbers to find the product. In part A, give an example of 2 numbers he could spin to get a positive product. In order to get a positive, we need to have same signs. So we could do a negative times a negative, or we could do a positive times a positive. Here's a positive, but there are none here, so that's not going to work. So we would have to do a negative times a negative. For example, negative 4 times a negative 3. Would work. An example of 2 numbers Hugh could spin to get a negative. In order to do that, we need different signs. Since these are all negative and then 0, we need to pull the positive from over here. So we'll have to use 5 times, and we could use any one of these three numbers. We'll just use -3 for our example. In this last example, it's asking you to find an average. So what you're going to do to find an average first is to add up all these temperatures. When you sum them together, they're all negative, so you're going to get a negative sum. 4, 7 is 11, 24, 35, so it's a -35 degrees. You divide by how many numbers you had, which in this case was 5. So the average temperature is -7 degrees Fahrenheit.